What are we making today? Stick around and let's see what we come up with. Hi, my name is Jenny. I'm from Jenny Card Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. I've got a fun Chop It Up inspired project for you using some 12 by 12 paper. The first thing I'm going to do is open up my Jenny Card Designs template book. If you've never seen this before, this is a series of books I have available on my website. Each book contains directions and the measurements on how to chop up your papers to create envelopes, boxes, bags, tags, mini projects, and so much more. So today I'm going to be using the Genvelope Template Reference Book. This is the first book in my series, and this book is going to guide us how to chop up our paper to create envelopes. So I'm using the A2 Genvelope template for our project today. I've got a piece of 12 by 12 pattern paper that I've selected. And step one in my template tells me I need to cut this piece of paper down to 8 by 10 1/4 inches. So that's where I'm starting. I'm cutting this down to 8 by 10 1/4, and I'm going to save these extra pieces off to the side, and we'll come back to those later. All right, so now I'm going to pull in my scoreboard. I'm following along the instructions. It tells me I need to score on the 8-inch side at 1 inch and then at 7 inches. And then I'm going to score across the 10 1/4 inch side at 2 1/4 inches and then 7 inches. So I'm just rotating my paper, score at 2 1/4 and then 7. So that's going to be it for the scoring for this project. I'll put my scoreboard away. And now I'm going to follow along the template guide and cut away the areas that are identified. So I'm just going to crease my folds to make that easier for me to see those outlined score marks. And then I'm going to cut away those 4 corners. So there are 4 pieces here. And I'm just following along my score marks, making sure that I get nice straight cuts. And I'll cut away all 4 of those pieces. You can save these little scraps to create banners or collage pieces, stuff like that. I'm not going to use those little offcuts today. So once I have all 4 of my sections cut, the next thing I'm going to do is just angle the corners on those 4 flaps. It just helps the envelope fold together nicely. And you'll see in the template guide the little corners that are sort of highlighted in dark blue. Those are the 4 corners we're going to cut away. So I'll just take my scissors and just eyeball here and cut little angles in all 4 sides. All right, so our envelope is ready to come together. Now you'll notice there is a smaller flap and a larger flap. The larger flap goes on the bottom and folds up, and that's where we're going to apply adhesive to seal the envelope shut. So we'll just apply a little bit of adhesive on that bottom flap, just on the outer edge, and then I'll close my envelope up and seal it down. And there we go. Super quick and simple. It really literally took me a few seconds to create, and we have a perfect A2 size envelope. I like to round the corners on my envelope flaps. I feel like it just gives a nice finished look, and just press in with my bone folder. The last thing I want to do is just add a little bit of double-sided adhesive to the envelope flap so that in the future, when I want to seal up this envelope, all I'll have to do is just pull off that release paper. I'll be able to seal up my envelope and I don't have to worry about it opening or my card falling out. Okay, so the envelope is complete. This will perfectly fit an A2 size note card with a little bit of wiggle room. So if you like to add dimension or layers on your card, you don't have to worry. This will fit perfectly inside of that envelope. Okay, going back to the template book, when you turn the page, there'll be some instructions on how to create A2 size note cards, both a portrait and a landscape. And at the bottom, there's also a layering guide to give you ideas on how to cut your paper so that they layer nicely on each other. So, this book has all different sizes of envelopes from small to large, A2, A7, slimline, some big ones, some square ones. I also have a few other books. I have Paper Engineering, which provides loads of inspiration for alternative style envelopes and pocket cards. And then I have 3D Projects, which creates pop up box cards and shadow box cards. And then I have a book about boxes and bags, which creates boxes for your note cards and gift bags. And then we've got Chop It Up, which I'm sure you've seen tons of those videos. And then I have 12 Days of Christmas, which creates 12 projects using paper to create packaging for gifts. And then finally, we have some grid paper so that you can design your own templates. This is all available on my website. I'll leave it linked in the description box down below if you're interested in checking that out. Okay, so let's move over to the card now. I'm going to pull in those scraps that I had from earlier from cutting up my paper to create my envelope. The piece that we have left here is 4 inches wide, which is going to fit perfectly on the front of my note card. So my card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to cut this down so it layers nicely on the front of my card to 5 1/4. And then I'm going to take this little pink strip. This is just like the branding strip on the pattern paper and it's perforated. So I'm just going to shave it down a little bit and cut it down to 4 1/4 inches so I can put this on the inside of my note card. I'm going to grab some liquid glue and apply that little strip to the bottom of my note card on the inside. And once that's done, I'm going to take my liquid glue and glue my pattern paper to the front of my card. I don't want to put too much, but enough where it's going to hold and not fall off. So I'll get that lined up, just eyeballing, making sure that I've got an even amount of space around all 4 sides, and then press in that adhesive. Okay, I have one little strip left over here, and I thought this would look nice on the front of the card as a grounding layer for my sentiment. So I just trimmed that off and applied liquid glue, and now everything just ties together so nicely. I think that pink is such a nice touch. And there we go. Our card and envelope is complete. So I didn't put anything on this. You can add a sentiment or some ephemera, dress it up a little bit on the front, and put your message on the inside. But I just wanted to show you how I create a matching card and envelope with one piece of 12 by 12 pattern paper. All right, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with me. I appreciate the support as always. I hope that you've gotten some inspiration to get to chopping up your pattern paper. Coming up on screen is a playlist to my Chop It Up series with all sorts of inspiration for you to get chopping some of your papers. Have yourself a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!